Well, wherever you're in your seat, hmm, again, deepening your breath a bit. Any movement, you might need to get out any wiggles or stretches, allowing yourself to settle in a bit. Letting your hands rest maybe somewhere on your lap. They can also find the ground. Yeah, letting yourself settle in and arriving to your practice, to your mat, to the ground. Closing your eyes if you'd like. And inviting some really big breaths, maybe some of the biggest breaths you've had all day. And just noticing where you're feeling the breath. Maybe in the chest, or in your belly. Or maybe you're noticing any smells or feelings in the nostril. Our breath as a gateway to presence. And just noticing, observing these sensations of the breath. And on your next inhale, we'll let our shoulders come up towards our ears, sort of closing in the space between shoulders and ears, tightening up a little bit. And on your exhale, letting them roll back and down, relaxing, releasing that tension. And then doing this a couple more times on your own timing, inhaling, inviting a little bit of tension or into the shoulders, and your exhale, letting that relax down. Yeah, belly softens. And then settling back in, yeah, releasing any tension in the shoulders and the jaw and the brow, those areas that can be typical places for tension that we don't really need. On your next inhale, let our arms come up towards the sky. So your exhale, taking a twist to one side, reaching for that opposite hand to opposite knee. Looking over that shoulder, spine, spiraling towards the sky, our crown reaching up. And slowly unwinding, and then we'll let our hands walk forward, taking a little forward fold over your legs, wherever they're at. Maybe your forehead touches the ground. Maybe just let your head hang. Nice. Maybe allowing the breath to live in the back of the rib cage, back of the lungs here. And coming back to our seats. Inhaling, lifting our arms up towards the sky. And exhaling, twisting to the other side. Opposite side, looking over that shoulder. And maybe visualizing that spine from our sit bones through the crown, like a spiral staircase. Our vertebrae rotating on top of the other. And allowing yourselves to unwind. And again, walking our hands forward. Maybe switching your legs if you're cross-legged. And just letting a head drop or touch the ground. Breathing into the back body. We'll come back to our seat, allowing our feet to find the ground in front of us. We'll just invite some rocking back and forth of the knees. You might hang out on one side for a moment or kind of move back and forth in between. Yeah. Little massage to the hip bones. Mm-hmm. Bringing both feet back towards the ground. We'll take a little mini reverse tabletop. You'll just maybe lift the hips just an inch or so off the ground. Yeah, you might move those hips a little bit. Let the head drop back. Or massage those wrists a little bit. And sit bone comes down. We'll stretch the legs out in front of us and take a forward fold with our legs in front of us. Reaching the toes back towards us. Hands reaching wherever they fall today, along your legs or maybe the toes. Sending our breath to wherever we feel this, along the backs of our legs or along our backs, back of the neck. We'll come back up to a seat, and then taking either another mini reverse tabletop or a reverse plank where you just lift your hips up a little bit. Either option. Yeah, what it feels like to have the hips free from the ground. And then we'll let that come down and we'll meet in a child's pose. So crossing our legs or swinging them around. Shins finding the ground. Maybe the forehead touches the ground. Taking a few big breaths into your mat. Again, checking in with our breath. And allowing a moment for any intention, any thread you'd like to return to or pull through your practice. It can be as simple as keep breathing and bringing yourself back to your breath. We'll meet in a tabletop, finding ourselves on hands and knees. And we'll right away go into your cat and cow practice, so dropping the belly, lifting the chest, and reversing the movement of the spine. Moving nice and slow, continuous, never fully arriving, and allowing any other organic movement to flow here. Yeah, any of those familiar pathways, or maybe something different that calls to you this evening. And then we'll sink back into a child's pose. Bones hit our heels. Stretching those hands long in front of a little active child's pose. Coming back into our tabletop. We'll extend that left leg behind us. Maybe lift those off the ground. And here, just engaging with our core, allowing that to pull towards our center. And on your exhale, bringing knee to nose. Exhaling, looking towards your belly button. And your inhale, extending. And exhale, knee to belly button. Extend. We'll do that one more time. And finding yourself back in your tabletop, we'll reach our right hand up towards the sky. And threading the needle, letting that right hand come through. Nice. Yeah, shoulder, that top of the arm, finding the ground. We'll slowly unwind out of this, reaching that hand back up towards the sky. Hand meets the ground. Then we'll tuck our toes and push back into a down dog, bending and stretching the legs a little bit. Our inhale will shift into a plank, holding this for a couple breaths. Option always to lower the knee to yank. And pushing down dog. And we'll lower our knees down, finding our tabletop again. Take another cat and cow if you need. And finding our neutral tabletop, we'll extend that right leg back behind us. The toes can stay on the ground or letting it float up a little bit. And feeling that core engaged, energy coming out of that heel behind us. And our exhale, bringing knee to nose, curving the spine. And extend. Doing this a couple more times with your breath. And allowing the knee to come to the ground, we'll lift that left hand up towards the sky. And threading the needle on the other side. Outside of the upper arm, finding the ground. Clasping the hands together or allowing that top arm to find any supportive position. And slowly unwinding out of this, pressing into that right hand, finding our tabletop, and we'll tuck our toes, lifting back into our down dog. Hips go up. And on your next inhale, shifting into our plank again, Full palms pressing into the ground, modifying if you need. And then exhale, shifting back into down dog. And we'll walk our hands to the back of our mat, to our feet, finding a forward fold at the back of our mat. And here, maybe grabbing your opposite shoulder to the back of your head, inviting a little movement here, maybe a little shifting our weight in between our legs. Nice. Releasing our hands down. Our inhale, we'll take a halfway lift, extending that spine long. And exhale, forward fold. Allowing the knees to be slightly bent. And we'll do that 2 more times. On your inhale, extending the spine long, halfway lift. And releasing into the forward fold. And from our forward fold, we'll come all the way up to standing, slowly rolling all the way up. Arms reach up towards the sky. Exhale, allowing the hands coming through heart center, finding our weight evenly between both feet, spread across each foot independently. Our breath. With our crown floating upon the rest of our body, checking in with our alignment. Inhale, reach our arms up. And then exhale, forward fold. And take a halfway lift. And exhale, we'll walk our hands to the top of our mat, finding our plank. And then shifting into our low plank or all the way to the ground. And coming into cobra, so rolling the shoulders back and down, pressing the palms into the ground. Yeah, letting the chest grow. And we'll push back into our child's pose. And eventually meeting in our down dog. No rush to get there. Looking in between our feet, we'll walk our hands again to the back of our mat. Coming into that forward fold. We'll take an inhale, halfway lift. And forward fold. And coming all the way up to standing, arms reach up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Taking 3 big breaths here in our mountain pose or standing posture. And your next breath, reaching our arms up towards the sky. Then exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. And exhale, walking our hands towards the top of our mat, going maybe through your down dog, through to plank. And lowering all the way down and taking a cobra or up dog, whatever your back is feeling ready for. And meeting in down dog, always option to go through your child's pose. We'll do that sort of flow one more time. So walking our hands back to our feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Standing that strong, forward fold. And coming all the way up to standing, arms reach up towards the sky. And exhale, hands to heart. Big breaths here. Feeling tall from our feet. Inhale, reach our arms up towards the sky. Then exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. And walking our hands forward, shifting into your plank, and going through your flow, low plank, cobra, or up dog. Meeting in down dog. Taking your time. Inhale and lift that right heel up towards the sky. And our exhale, bringing knee to nose and stepping it forward, coming into a low lunge. You can reach the arms up, pressing that back shin into the ground, connecting with our core, dropping our shoulders, finding our stable low lunge. And breathing into that front hip. And then our left hand to the ground and open up for a twist to our right. Yeah, twisted low lunge. And here we'll tuck that back toe and lift our back knee. So raising into our standard lunge. We'll release that right hand down, pushing back into our down dog. Staying here or rolling through a chaturanga flow. We'll reach that left foot up towards the sky, extending that heel high. And then your exhale, bringing knee to nose, stepping it forward, coming into a low lunge on this side. Arms reach up, back shin pressing into the ground. We'll let that right hand come to the ground, then opening up into a twist towards our left. And tucking that back toe, lifting our knee up off the ground. Nice twisted high lunge. That left hand will come down. We'll step the back foot forward. Coming right into a chair pose. Hips sink down, arms reach up. And here we might cactus the arms, allowing the chest to feel expanding, expansive. Letting our weight be in the back of our heels, maybe sinking a little bit lower. And then exhale, forward fold. And take a halfway lift. And exhale, we'll meet back in down dog, going straight there, going through your flow. We'll inhale with that right heel up towards the sky. And on your exhale, bringing that knee to nose, we'll step it forward, coming into a warrior one. So that back foot spinning down about a 45-ish degree. Making adjustability. As we arrive, is there anything that we can let go of or release, any tension that isn't serving us? We'll release our hands down, clasping them behind us, coming into a proud warrior. So rolling our shoulders back, letting our chest really open up. On your exhale, taking a humble warrior, letting the crown go towards the ground and a bit of a shoulder rinse. Here, nice. Coming back upright into our regular warrior one. This time we'll let our hands come to the back of our head and opening our chest up here. A different version of a proud warrior. And then exhale, releasing the hands down, meeting back in our down dog, going through a flow if you'd like. Just heading right to that down dog. Lifting that left heel up towards the sky. And stepping it forward, finding our warrior one on the other side. Making any adjustments, honoring any differences. And releasing our hands down to the base of our spine and releasing our hands. Proud warrior, rolling shoulders back and down. And then on your next exhale, humble warrior, crown reaching towards the ground, a little bit of a shoulder rinse. Moving back up to our warrior one. Let the hands find the back of our head, pressing the elbows open. Again, opening that chest. Your gaze might go up towards the sky. And exhale, releasing our hands down, stepping that back foot forward, forward fold, the top of our mat. We'll come all the way up to the standing, arms reach up. And exhale, hands to heart center. We'll release our hands down to our side. Let's see. And we're just to invite some like twists back and forth. So pretty, just kind of like a flail, or you're letting those hands feel heavy. They kind of just go out without you even forcing them. Just that like centrifugal motion, yeah. And a little more of a fluid twist. Noticing our knees and our legs are compensating for this movement. And we'll find some stillness, letting that fade a bit. Rolling the shoulders back and down. We'll find the base of our spine, letting our hands support our lower back. We'll roll the shoulders back and down as we find a standing camel, letting the shoulders roll back and down. Just going as far as your spine is feeling warmed up for. Might be subtle, or you might invite a little more of a back bend. And coming back upright. We'll find another chair pose, taking our weight down, making any choices with your arms. And then exhale, forward fold. Take a halfway lift, And exhale, finding our way back to down dog, taking your flow. We'll inhale and lift that right heel up towards the sky, opening the hip, inviting any movement here, just letting that hip hang open. Nice. And bringing that knee back, turning that hip back in. And our exhale will bring knee to nose, engaging the core. Inhale, extend back up. Again, exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend up. And this time, knee to opposite elbow. And if you'd like, pressing that foot through, coming into a little bit of a thing. You can also keep both arms on the hands on the ground. Nice. And coming back up to our three-legged dog. And we'll step that foot forward, finding our warrior one again. Inhale, reaching the chest up a bit, taking our expanded, sort of a proud warrior. And then exhale, allow our hands to come along our side, preparing for an airplane pose. So shifting our weight forward, and then stepping that back foot in a little bit as we begin lifting that back leg up off the ground, testing our balance, allowing the bottom of that foot to be firm yet soft as it presses into the ground. Full engagement of the back body, and see if we can channel our proud warrior here, letting that chest still feel expansive, a little arch here. And letting that back foot come down, back into a warrior one. And we'll step that back foot in a little bit, preparing for pyramid pose. And making any adjustments, how close your feet are to each other. You might find your hips, if that's stabilizing. And we're gonna bend at the hips, finding a forward fold, finding our pyramid pose. If you do have any supports with you that can be helpful, feel try not to hyperextend anything. You might stay right here, or you can twist your triangle, pressing the left hand into the ground or into some block and twisting towards your right. We'll release out of this, meeting back in our down dog, going through your flow. We'll inhale, lift that left heel up towards the sky, three-legged dog, opening the hip, inviting any movement here. And then allowing that knee to turn back in, or exhale, bringing knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Doing one more of those, or bringing knee to opposite elbow and pressing that foot through, coming into this sort of wild thing, side plank. We'll all meet back in that three-legged dog. And stepping that foot forward, finding our warrior one on the left side. Arms reaching up, letting our chest expand here, channeling our proud warrior. And then exhale, releasing our hands along our sides, shifting our upper body forward as we prepare for airplane pose. That back foot will come in a little bit as we test our balance, lifting that foot up off the ground. Yeah, feeling our full back body engaged, our chest feeling spacious. Nice. And letting that back foot find the ground, preparing for our pyramid on the other side, and bringing those feet together, maybe letting them be a little bit more wider apart. Finding our hips might be helpful as we bend forward. Again, keeping a little bit of fluidity in those knees, trying not to be too rigid or hyperextended. Seeing here, taking a twisted pyramid, planting that right hand into the ground, opening up towards the left. Nice. And slowly coming out of that, we'll find our way into a child's pose, going straight there, going through a flow. Checking in with your body generally, with your breath, any intentions you have for your practice today. We'll come to standing on our knees. Preparing for a camel pose. Hands could find our lower back, supporting us here as we roll our shoulders back and down, and let our chest expand up towards the sky. You don't know if it's in your practice to reach back for a heel one at a time or together. You might explore that. Moving slowly. And releasing into our child's pose. Yeah, letting the spine unfurl. And we'll roll into a rabbit. So rolling onto the top of our head, the crown of our head meets the ground. You might use your hands right next to your crown to support you, or you might take a bit of a shoulder rinse here with your rabbit. Taking note, what does it feel like to have the very top of our head rooted into the ground? And releasing back into our child's pose. We'll tuck our toes, meeting back in our down dog, hips lifting up. And walking our hands back towards our feet. Here you might grab your big toes or put your hands underneath your feet. Indulge in a deep forward fold. Releasing our hands, we'll let our left hand find the ground or a block, bending the left knee and opening up towards the right for a twist. Maybe wrapping your hand around your back or just reaching up towards the sky. And switching, so letting the right knee bend, right knee planting into the ground. And that hand comes down. Walking our hands out into our plank. And finding our core here. And as slowly as possible, release all the way down to our mat. Letting maybe the forehead meets the ground or on top of your hands. Into the ground and letting our bellies be soft. We'll let our hands come alongside our bodies, preparing for locust pose. So roll our shoulders back and down as we lift our chests and our toes and maybe our knees come up off the ground. Full back body engagement, everything pulling towards the center, toes touching, inner thighs touching. And gaze just in front of us, allowing our spine to be long through our crown. Maybe lifting a little bit higher. And exhale, forward fold, letting the knees rock back and forth. We're just wiggling the hips. An option for another locust or a bow pose, reaching for the backs and tops of our feet. And when you're ready on your inhale, lifting your chest up. Yeah, if you're in bow, pressing your feet into your hands, allowing that to bring your chest up. And on your exhale, releasing down. Again, rocking those knees if you need. We'll make a T with our hands. So letting them come to the side. I kind of feel like I'm giving the ground a hug. Maybe that feels good. Hugging the earth if we could feel the curve of the earth. Then we'll let our right hand sort of come in towards our face, and we'll look towards our right hand. I'm going to roll on to our left arm. So a little bit of a shoulder stretch. This leg can kind of come behind us, stay stacked on top of each other. A deep shoulder stretch, a little bit of a back bend. We'll come back to center. Maybe taking another hug, or if you want to do a cobra, whatever kind of neutralizing Posture feels good in between sides. And then we'll do that shoulder stretch on the other side. So that left hand comes in towards our head, looking towards our left as we roll on to our right side. Yeah, that back leg, that leg can kind of be a kickstand behind us. Slowly unwinding that. Again, maybe giving another hug to the ground or a cobra. We'll push back into our child's pose, taking your time. And we'll meet on our backs, however you'd like to get there. Swinging legs around. We'll find a figure 4 pose, connecting our right foot to our left knee, reaching through our legs, coming into this hip opener here. You might take some bigger sighs with your exhale, letting everything soften, letting gravity support you in this. Allowing our breath and the sensation of this posture draw us into our experience. We'll stay here for 10 or so more breaths. Option to let this structure rock over towards your left for a twisted figure 4, or just staying where you're at. And slowly coming back up to center. If you had twisted, we'll let our feet find the ground and push into a bridge, letting our hips float up. Slight tuck of the chin. And slowly unwinding and finding figure 4 on the other side. So right knee and left foot meet each other. Yeah, inviting any little movement that lets you settle in. And taking 10 or so more breaths on the side and twisting this figure four if you'd like to let the knees fall towards the right. And coming back to center and letting our feet find the ground, taking one more bridge pose, pressing feet into the ground, hips floating up. Slowly coming out of that and letting this evolve into any other movements you'd like to end your practice with. Maybe a happy baby or shoulder stand, wheel. You kind of know what you need or what you are interested in. Yeah, no rush, letting yourself meander your way into a final resting pose. Once you arrive, giving yourself full permission to relax and release. You might let out a big, deep breath or sigh. Reminding ourselves that there's nothing left to do but just be here. Gently begin bringing your attention back to your breath, to any sounds. Invite any little movement or stretches. As we make our way to a seat, you might push yourself off to one side. On your seat, finding your hands anywhere where they're comfortable, resting on your legs or at heart center. And we'll close our practice together with 3 big inhales and exhales. Taking a deep breath in. Bowing your head forward, honoring yourself and for practicing in community today. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you.